The return. By 3:30 p.m., I board the single carriage train with a handful of passengers that for half an hour slowly passes through the flatness and spacious skies of the Broads and the Fens. Through the windows, I watch the floating marsh mists absorb and disperse the deep silvery red of the setting sun. I hear a young child ask her father, "How does the moon hang in the sky?" All seems idyllic. That is, until the carriage pulls into Norwich, where I have to change in order to catch the train back to Cambridge. The designated platform is crowded with hundreds of inebriated football fans. Norwich has just played Arsenal. I'm not sure who won. When the Cambridge train arrives, everyone tumbles in. A kind gentleman gives me his seat. We are on our way. But half an hour later, when the train pulls into Thetford, a barely lit country station that is run by automation, all comes to a halt. We are in the middle of what seems nowhere and caught in the midst of the fens rising damp. Finally, a voice over the loudspeaker informs us that there are problems on the track and with the signaling system. We wait, and then after half an hour, a second announcement. We are all to get off the train because Greater Anglia, the name of the service, is going to send replacement buses. So out we all file into the darkness and freezing weather, cross the tracks, I cannot see where I am stepping, and walk to the other side where we stand mainly in silence except for those who are talking on their cell phones. We hang around in a gritty, puddled parking lot and hope that the buses will soon show up and take us on to Ely, where we can theoretically board another train and return to Cambridge. Others, including the Arsenal fans, could then go on to London. We stand and stand and stand in the black of night for over an hour. No official is with us to offer guidance. Nothing is happening. We patiently bear the dilemma. Eventually, I see groups moving onto the platform. Like a sheep, I follow. Apparently, there are no buses available for hire, so the company has decided to send another train to pick us up and take us back to Norwich. Once on the train, we are caught in a nonsensical world, for the automated sound system keeps announcing that the train is going to Cambridge. But of course, we are going in the opposite direction and back to where we started. Once again in Norwich, we form a long, orderly queue. The inebriated by now have sobered up, and wait to pick up vouchers that will allow us to take taxis. Soon, though, rumors spread that this is not to be. Instead, the station master has decided to put on a new train that will take us to Cambridge. We all rush to get on. It is a relief, at last, to sit down again and be in a heated space. By this time, I start a conversation with a young man who designs video games. He specializes in interstellar wars and aliens. We stick together. Much to our relief, the train starts off. But once we get back to Thetford, everything again grinds to a halt. I can scarcely believe it. Now what? Suddenly, however, rather than becoming angry, the whole carriage bursts into laughter. Recognizing the absurdity of it all, we bond. There is an incredible sense of camaraderie, resilience, and good humor. Just about everyone starts snickering and making jokes. Things become jolly. One heavily tattooed man is particularly uproarious. He jokes that he and his children will not be able to recognize each other after a 2 years' absence. At this point, it does feel that long. Eventually, much to everyone's relief, the train slowly starts to move out of Thetford. Cheers go up. The goodwill continues. We are on our way. I continue to talk to my companion, who, when we finally reach Cambridge, informs me that his name is Romulus. What next? I arrive back to college at 10:45 p.m. What should have been a 2-hour journey has taken over 7 hours. I turn the key to my flat, dash to the toilet, and starving, hurry to the fridge. I do not, though, regret having gone to Lowestoft. The seascape and the time spent listening to the music of the sea has invigorated me. Moreover, I return sensing a certain resilience and care. Although Lowestoft is a depressed place, trying to recover from years of disastrous decline and disappointment, there are not only expressions of love for the area, but also signs of efforts to retrieve its former vitality, no matter what setbacks come its way. These continue. Indeed, as I write, Lowestoft has joined Yarmouth and Galston Seafront in an attempt to be named the City of Culture in 2025. Banksy, the graffiti artist who often supports the underdog, has recently and anonymously brought publicity to the town by painting graffiti in various locations. One, a large mural of a seagull hovering over a skip so as to snatch discarded chips, enlivens the whole side of a building close to Lowestoft's train station. I am recently, however, dismayed to learn that the wall displaying this piece of graffiti has been removed by the building's owner, placed in storage, while awaiting to be sold at auction. The man running a rather shabby tourist information center within the train station just shakes his head and mutters, "Greed, greed." Perhaps the future will bring better fortune to the area and silence the condescension that seems to be long-lasting. Even during the town's more affluent days, writers like G.K. Chesterton in his 1937 short story, When Doctors Agree, disrespected people from Lowestoft. In the story, Chesterton finds fault with the wife of Lord Glenorchy because of the horrid fact that she comes from Lowestoft and therefore speaks a mouthful of irrelevance at a dinner party. How does one rid a place of its reputation? Maybe, in the end, Lowestoft will, like my train ride back to Cambridge, go backwards and forwards until finally, after uncomfortable intervals and delays, it will recover and reach its desired destination.